time has come to match. Kicking with the AC, some more cuts and fat sacks. Expand my thoughts to a deeper frame of mind. So the next time I focus, heard you be feeding for the.
On Ghetto Blues, Smoking a Bomb is another one of those. And that one, unlike Ghetto Blues, your flow there is a lot more laid back. So I wanted to get from you, and you've employed so many different styles and flows over the years, but early on, what was giving you the confidence or the insight or the direction to use these different flows so early?
Like I said, to me, I never consciously just thought about it. It was just however I felt when I heard the beat, or, sometimes we would, back then, we was really sitting down with the producers and coming up with the beat as a whole. So I just would go like I was saying earlier, I'd be all over the place. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. I just go with however the beat makes me feel. I may start out just rapping kind of smooth, and then my brain will just go somewhere else, and I'll just start, So it's not, I don't know. I'll be all over the place with it. It's just whatever the beat gives my soul, I just go with it. Okay. I like to try to be like an instrument, within the beat versus like being on top of the beat and just, rapping. I want to be part of it.
You be an instrument too.
Okay.
Yeah. So then also with Ghetto Blues, with Can't Stand the Heat, you got Sibo on there. That's super hard. But I also I thought it was interesting that you were, in addition to your aggression, you were like, yo, you want this, we can take it to the next level. So where were you getting this confidence to not only be confrontational, but to be like, yo, bring it if you want it for yourself?
Well, like I said, I come from a long family of a lot of, I got some cold cats in my family. So I think that's kind of like just in my DNA. I have like my big sister, who's just always been there for me throughout my whole life. She's 3 years older than me. She's a tough cookie, so I had to learn to fight young. I had to, and like I said, for me, I think it was more so a defensive type of thing, and instead of sitting there waiting for somebody to bring the bullshit, let's go, and I kind of still have that same mentality, not in the same sense as back then. I don't even get down like that no more in my music, talking about, this and that, but yeah, it's just kind of like who I am. But I'm not the type of person that walks around talking loud and, oh, what's up, motherfucker? Like how people think I am. So when they meet me, they be like weirded out, I think, kind of, because I'm not like, oh, yeah, I'm Marvaless, West Coast Mafia. It's just not my personality, So I kind of think that other side comes out more if you test me, or, when I'm in the booth, I'm just more aggressive.
So what would you say is your day-to-day personality?
Oh, I'm the nicest person a person is going to ever meet. I didn't lose that part of me. I'm thankful for that. Now I am a lot more shielded. I don't let too many people around me and all that, but I'm still the nice person that I am. But when you go through life and you trust people and, certain things happen, you just become more guarded. So that's where I'm at now. I'm still nice, and I ask the ancestors every day to grant me with the strength to remain, who I am. Because sometimes I do wake up and I'll be like, you know what? Fuck this motherfucker. Can I cuss on here? Fuck him. Fuck her. Fuck, you know what? So I do have those days, but no, I'm nice. I love to help people. I like uplifting people. But that's also, I think, one of my biggest faults, because people take advantage of that to this day. But it is what it is.
Yeah, that's a lifelong situation, I believe.
Yeah, that ain't something you can shake.
Nah, but somebody that definitely, it seems like looked out a lot for you, or helped at least to a large degree from the outside looking in, was Sibo himself.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So when you were first getting with AWOL and recording and getting him on Ghetto Blues, like, was it just seamless? He was like, okay, let's roll. But like,
it was so seamless. It was just like so natural. Yeah, it was very, very effortless. Like it wasn't no thinking, oh, we gotta do. It was just boom. We find the beat, we pick what we gonna talk about, and we just went in, and it was a lot of fun in the midst of making all those dope songs. A lot of fun.
Okay. And then he had told me that the Stomping in My Steel Toes that was on the autopsy, but then Tales from the Crypt, the one that you're on, what he had told me that you were all excited or wanted to get on it or love that song. So what was it about that song that you liked?
I don't know. It's just sometimes when I hear a song, I'll just hear myself on it. And that was one of them. And then just kind of like how he was spitting, it was just my type of thing. I kind of like more to rap. I don't think I rap that fast, but to other people, they be like, you rap hella fast. But I do know for me, one thing is that's very hard for me is rapping slow. And it may seem awkward, but it's hella hard for me to rap slow. But yeah, I was just a total fan of that song. And yeah, he allowed me to jump on that thing. So yeah, that's one of a lot of people that I come across. They're like, that's my favorite song. So I'm very thankful, to him for allowing me to jump on that thing and use it on my album.
Okay. Because it didn't even Take It How You Want To and Stomping in My Steel Toes. You had obviously had Ghetto Blues out already, then getting on Tales from the Crypt. How did being on Sibo's album, you think, change how people saw you or help your exposure? How did that work?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because that's how most people heard me first, was on Bo's album. And so that was a blessing. Yeah. I mean, 90% of the people that I talked to, that's how they first heard me. The younger people, they may have heard the album with me and Jack, or me and Mess, with me, Jack and Huss, or me and Mess, but from my generation, or like 35 and up, they heard me through Bo first. Yeah, so that exposure was definitely life-changing for me.
Yeah. And I've known Bo for a long time now, and I know he was obviously going through and had been going through and for several years after was still going through a lot of legal stuff. But with you, how was with Ghetto Blues, Tales from the Crypt, this exposure? Were you getting a lot of shows? Did you get more shows? Were you able to do stuff, or were you still pretty much staying in the Sacramento general area?
No, we was moving and grooving. We was state to state with it. We was state to state with it. Yeah, a lot of shows, a lot of tours, all the rap conventions, everything. Like, yeah.
Okay, cool. So then getting into Wicked, then, like, what was mentally, you've had success, you've been on big records at this point, and you're starting to get in the groove of doing things. How did you change or evaluate things business wise, or did you just think purely creatively?
Yeah, back then I was just thinking purely creative. I wasn't really well versed on the business aspect of it, like, at all. I was just like a youngster that rapped hella tight, that wanted to rap, and that was excited about being in certain situations, like being in a real studio. I had never been in a real studio until I started recording Ghetto Blues. So it was, I went through that whole excitement thing of it, and just traveling and doing all this stuff, and being loved by my peers. And, so that's the kind of page I was on. I wasn't focusing on the business. I ain't gonna even lie, I wasn't focusing on it at all at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, also with Wicked, there's the Sacramento song that Mike Mosley did. It's one of my favorites on there. And I think from what I remember around that time too, that was a big song, or at least it seemed like a lot of people really liked it.
Yeah.
So what was your goal or objective with the Sacramento song?
Really, I just wanted to represent where I'm from. I'm born and raised here. So I was like, it's only right. I don't recall anybody else ever doing it before then or even after. But see, they're really seeing me talking shit. I gotta start talking shit. But yeah, it was just for me, like, I'm gonna represent my city, and then Levitti got on there and laced that thing up. And my sister is singing on there too. But you hear Levitti more. But yeah, that was just one of the ones where I was like, I gotta rep my city.
Okay. And why I had always thought that was the first rap song I remember hearing bigging up Sacramento. So okay. Yeah, you hadn't heard one either?
I think no. Nope.
Yeah, because obviously Bo rapped a lot about the neighborhood and stuff, but
Yeah.
not the city as California Love or Sacramento or anything like that.
Shoot, that's what man, it would be so dope if I could remix that, but get all the heavy hitters from Sacramento. Woo! But you know, it would just be so much going on. I know that couldn't happen, but
well, that would be dope though. You should try to do it.
That would be epic. That because there ain't no other Sacramento song like that. That was, you know, that could give it that same push. Yeah. Idea. Maybe one day I'll be able to pull that together.
Shoot, you and Mike Mosley should be able to make that happen. You should.
Yeah, for sure.
You should do that. And then also on Wicked, you got the Bring the Bomb record, which I also thought was good because it had that one I just remember coming off Sacramento, and it's also right after it is like the kind of that eerie beat. So kind of that spooky eeriness. So
well, that was Skills from Seattle, and you know he actually did the Straight Killer beat, Bo Straight Killer beat. So they kind of both got that same kind of feel to them. Yeah. And
what do you like about those kind of creepy, eerie, weird horror type of sounds?
Really, it'd be that bass. It'd be that bass because you know back then we had the 18s in the trunk and the zap code, so it was about that bass and that vibration that you know that slap.
That is the mob sound. That's what it's about. And one of my other favorites on Wicked was the See the Light. Another one of man, that song.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too.
Oh, so why do you like it so much?
For me, it's like we know Bo, you know, he with the shit and he, you know, he gonna talk about, you know, his gang banging and all that. But for me on that song, it was kind of more of him telling his story, you know, about his life versus it just being focused on, you know, on just straight gang banging. You know, he told a story. I'm looking deep off in the mirror and I'm seeing myself a decade ago on the corner singing, yeah. So it's like I can visualize okay, this is the younger Bo, and he's sitting there tripping a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those songs that I would deem as being semi-conscious, you know, even though we still, you know, gonna do it how we do it. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I really, really, really love that song. And then I'm just, you know, DJ Duro is just one of the dopest producers ever to me. So
I agree. He's another underrated great. And you also had the reference lyrically to Take It How You Want To on there, how you had mentioned that. And I know, you know, a lot of artists do that where they reference their other songs or older stuff they had done. Why do you do that?
Like I just like to talk shit, basically. I just like to talk shit. And I think I don't remember what album it was on, but I went through and kind of used all of my album titles and put them in a sequence to where it made sense. But yeah, I don't know. I just try to come up with different ways to be creative.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, at this point in your career, you know, you're taking off, things seem to be growing a lot. And then with the Fearless project, you ended up getting with New Tribe as AWOL got with New Tribe, and then Fearless was through New Tribe. So this is a big major label. You know, they had to rap a lot with Ghetto Boys and Scarface and Loonies, a lot of big artists. So how and in what ways were things changing for you around the Fearless era?
Well, around the Fearless era, you know, that was when you know, like I think it was called The Box. Was it The Box? But you know, they had all these different video channels, you know, so I was and being on videos on BET, and you know, the budgets went up for the videos, and you know, we was shooting $100,000 videos, you know. I toured with AZ, you know, so it was just kind of things were on a bigger scale as far as everything we was doing. And it's crazy because during that, a lot of that time, Bo was locked up. So a lot of that stuff he didn't get to experience. But yeah, it was just, yeah, everything was bigger.
Now I want you to listen real close to me. I'm going to ask you some real simple questions, and I want some real simple answers. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
You said that you couldn't have possibly been at the crime scene at 11:15 because you were in the bookstore buying my audio book and my hardcover book at 11:15 when the crime scene occurred in Soren's book.
The history of gangster rap.
So you couldn't have been at the crime scene because you were buying the books.
Right. At 11:15, I was at the bookstore at 11:15, and when I bought the books and accidentally left them at the store.
So at 11:15, you couldn't have been at the crime scene because you were buying books, right?
At 11:15, when I was leaving, it was some people coming in, and I forgot to grab.
But you don't remember who
what they look
people,
like.
what they look like or nothing, right?
No.
So, at 12:15, you were in the bookstore buying my audio book and hardcover book and Soren's book at 12:15. So you couldn't have been at the scene because you were buying the books, right?
Yeah, at 12, exactly, at 12:15 exactly, I was at the bookstore.
Now you see. You know you done fucked up.
What you mean?
First you said you were at the bookstore at 11:15, and then you said it was 12:15. You know you done fucked up.
He fucked up.
Yeah, he fucked up. He fucked up.
Man, you confusing me, man.
So, you get my book, my audio book, 40 years in Soren's book, History of Gangster Rap, and if you don't, you know you done fucked up, right?
Man, the more those cops ask me questions, the more I wish I bought them motherfucking books.